This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When send past the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Ladies and gentlemen, the New York Knicks take on the Boston Celtics tonight. And they'll try to get a statement game. They haven't had one yet this season. We're going to break it down and talk about it, ladies and gentlemen. Remember to support the channel. We've been demonetized. Cash App is $, nothing but Knicks. PayPal is paypal.me/nothing but Knicks. You can find that information in the description of the video. You can also find it tagged to the top of your YouTube chat. And I see people in the chat already talking about the Knicks and their troubles against top teams. And not just the Eastern Conference, but the entire NBA, ladies and gentlemen. The Knicks haven't had a signature win. Or, if you want to say their signature win was against the Miami Heat, maybe you can say that. But the Heat are below the Knicks in the standings right now. So the Knicks haven't had one of those wins that make you say, yeah, they can really beat anybody. They haven't beat the Celtics. They haven't beat the Bucks. They haven't played Orlando or Philadelphia, so we don't know if they're going to beat those teams. All right, they've beaten Miami. They've beaten Indiana. They've beaten the Hawks. They've beaten Toronto. They've beaten Charlotte, the Wizards, the Pistons. They haven't beaten Minnesota, top team in the Western Conference. They haven't beaten the Suns. They lost to the Suns when the Suns were depleted. So, I don't know what to tell you. The only thing I know is that the Knicks have not, ladies and gentlemen, beaten these teams, and I'm looking for that signature win from the Knicks. I'm looking for that signature win. When will the Knicks get a signature win? I'm hoping that it's tonight. I'll be honest with you, the Knicks seem to struggle against these Boston Celtics. They struggle against this basketball team. You know what I mean? I know the first game was a close game, and the Knicks didn't play well in that first game, and it was still a close game. In the second game, the Knicks got blown out by the Celtics. Well, you know, the Knicks got their chances coming up over the next few games. You know what I mean? Over the next couple of weeks, let me say that. They play the Celtics. They play Milwaukee. They play the Phoenix Suns. You know what I mean? They're going to have a chance to knock off one of these basketball teams. I mean, the Suns are 12-9, but a lot of that is due to injuries. But they'll have a chance to beat the Boston Celtics and the Milwaukee Bucks in the coming days and weeks. Want to see, can they get it done, ladies and gentlemen? Disappointing loss to the Milwaukee Bucks in the tournament. You know, I mean, they gave up 75 points by halftime. And I knew they weren't going to be able to maintain that. I mean, they were down 75-72. In my heart, in my mind, I was like, they're not going to be able to maintain this scoring power, this scoring punch. And they weren't able to. They weren't able to. Let's break this one down. Cameron Goldberg said, the Knicks seem to have trouble with Jrue Holiday and Porzingis, especially Jrue Holiday. The Knicks are like 0-9 versus Jrue Holiday. Well, you know, the thing about the Celtics is they added exactly what they needed during this offseason. They needed someone who can be that leader. That's Drew Holiday. They needed another guy that can release the pressure from Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. That's Kristaps Porzingis. He added that. He spreads the floor for them. So now it opens up the lanes for Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. For Drew Holiday. You know, the Knicks added Dante DiVincenzo. He was a great pickup, no doubt about it. But, you know, it still remains to be seen if they added enough firepower to compete with Milwaukee or Boston. For Minnesota, right? I mean, Minnesota. I mean, who thought Minnesota was going to do what they're doing? But that's another story. Jerry Fitz said, the Knicks played the Bucks tough the first game. Should have won. Randall was 5 for 20. Dante was 1 for 8. Last game was not Knicks basketball. 75 points given up at the half. That's not us. Not worried about that happening again. I agree. I don't think that's going to happen again. The Bucks were hot. 60% from the field, 60% from the three-point line. That's crazy. That's crazy shooting. But the fact remains, the Knicks haven't been able to get that signature win when they played these teams. They haven't been able to get it. Other teams have beaten these teams, obviously, right? They got losses. The Knicks haven't been able to get one. And I think the Knicks have that on their mind. I think they understand that they need to get one to prove it to themselves and to prove it to the league. You know, they hear the chatter. The Knicks don't have a star. Every time they step on the court, they only have the second best player. That's the best player they have is the second best player on the court. And all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? We're going to see. Building blocks. Said this season, we rarely beat teams that have winning records. I think we only beat 2 teams with a winning record. You know what? I need to go back and check out everyone that they've played. You know, and see what that is. You could be correct. You could be correct. Now, so the Knicks got some things to prove, ladies and gentlemen. They're 12-8 on the season, currently in the 5th seed in the Eastern Conference. Exactly where they were last year. All right, it's been 20 games. I seen someone in the chat say, we'll find out who the Knicks really are over the next 20 games. And that might be true. Right now, the Knicks are a 12-8 team that are 5th in the Eastern Conference. With teams like Orlando, a surprise team above them. You expected Boston, Milwaukee, Philadelphia, you know, to be teams above the Knicks. We weren't sure about Philadelphia. Right? But Philadelphia has proven to be a very good basketball team. You know, well, and now Orlando is proven to be a good basketball team. We'll see if they can sustain. And, of course, you see what Indiana's doing. They're below the Knicks, same record, but you see what Indiana's doing. You know what I mean? We'll see if they're able to sustain that. So it's an interesting time for the Knicks. Interesting time, and we'll see what they're able to do. But they play the Celtics tonight. No serious injuries to report for either team. All right, Kristaps Porzingis is available. This was per the 4:30 report. He's available. We'll see where it goes from there, how much he plays or if he plays or whatever it is. But he's available. He has a left calf strain, but for now, I'm going to keep him there in the starting lineup because he's available. The Knicks are fully healthy. And besides Kristaps Porzingis, the Celtics seem to be fully healthy. And, you know, I think it was, I don't know who it was, who I was talking. I think I was talking to Ron last night from Still Knicks fans. And he said, man, maybe the Knicks should have picked up KP. You know what I mean? To add that extra scoring punch. You know, the thing is, if the Knicks would have picked up KP, they would have lost Mitchell Robinson. And I know KP brings something offensively that Mitch doesn't bring, as far as being able to shoot from the outside, post up every now and again, go off the dribble every once in a while. He brings those things, but he doesn't bring the defense that Mitchell Robinson brings. And I think that is significant for this basketball team. When you have a small guard like Jalen Brunson, who may at times have trouble staying in front of a man. You know what I mean? Julius Randle and R.J. Barrett will, from time to time, let their guy get past them. You need a guy like Mitch. And then the Knicks aren't that great of a shooting team. Mitchell Robinson right now is the best offensive rebounding center in the league. Now, people can argue that if you had Kristaps Porzingis, the Knicks would be a better shooting team, and that's possible. That's possible. So I don't know. I mean, I like the Knicks team. Me and Ron were having a conversation last night about, when do we feel that this team hits the plateau point? I don't know if it's there yet. I think we see what happens this season, and then next year start talking about have they plateaued. I think they're still rising up. So we don't know if they've plateaued yet. That being said, if a star player, like everyone is saying, becomes available, then you go and get him as long as it's the right guy. But anyway, the Knicks got to face the Celtics tonight. We're not adding anybody by the end of this show. Right? So there's the injury report. The Knicks are fully healthy. The Celtics, maybe have a question mark on Kristaps Porzingis, but he is available for tonight. All right, so I'm going to expect him to be in the starting lineup, ladies and gentlemen. And you know what the starting lineups look like. Right? This will be the third time the Knicks have played the Boston Celtics this season. And I believe this game is like the loser's bracket in the Eastern Conference for the quarterfinals or whatever it is. I don't know. But it still counts as a regular season game. All right, Jalen Brunson, Quentin Grimes, R.J. Barrett, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson. Then you got Drew Holiday, Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and Kristaps Porzingis. Nothing new there. Matchups, we've seen these matchups a million times. Who's going to match up where? We've seen them a million times. We'll talk about it, though. Bench, Emmanuel Quickly, DiVincenzo, R.J. Barrett playing in that small forward spot. Josh Hart, Isaiah Hartenstein for the Celtics. Pritchard, either Brown or White playing in that shooting guard spot. Sam Hauser, Al Horford, and Luke Cornett. The crazy thing, man, I seen a highlight of Luke Cornett catching an alley-oop. I was like, really? Luke Cornett? He was above the rim, too. I mean, he's 7 foot tall, so he should be. But, I was, wow, okay. Go ahead, Luke. But those are your starting and bench units. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about matchups. Before we even talk about matchups, let's go back to the starting unit. Let's talk about Quentin Grimes. Right? Because Quentin Grimes has been in the news. Right? He's been in the news. He's unhappy with his role. He's, not happy standing in the corner waiting for the ball to come to him. He's not happy getting, 3 or 4 shots a game, if that. Feels like there's 100 pounds of pressure on each shot that he takes. You know what I mean? I don't know. How do y'all feel about what Quentin Grimes said? I feel 2 ways. I'm okay with him standing up for himself, but I wish he would have just spoke to his coaches about it. You know what I mean? just spoke to his coaches, spoke to his teammates. And I'm not saying he didn't do that. He probably did do that. But I'm hoping that at least by him speaking up and saying something, you know, we're seeing some I don't know what you want to call it, but he's not afraid. He's not scared. Maybe he's some confidence, I guess I should say. Maybe we're seeing some confidence from him. You know what I mean? You know, at some point, a person gets fed up and like, I got to say something. And a lot of times you see positive change after that. So hopefully we see positive change. What I'm hoping that we see tonight is that his teammates step up. His teammates say, I got you. We're going to help find you a shot. We're going to help get you involved in this offense. You know what I mean? I hope that we see that. Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle, both, mentioned that they need to take responsibility to help get them involved, to help their teammate if their confidence is low, to get them back on track. So, I'd like to see them do that tonight. That's what teammates are supposed to be for. Support each other, help get each other going, have each other's back. That's how, when you're in situations like this is when you find out who really has your back and not. Let me get your caller. Caller, you're live. Name and where you're from, please.
Hello?
Yo, you there?
Oh, yeah. This is Al from Jersey.
What's going on, Al? How you feeling?
Good. I'm an old coach from way back when and so on. And watching the box score of that Milwaukee game, how do you have two players, Mitchell Robinson, who's trying to give you every second shot you can probably get and every rebound off the board, and Quentin Grimes, who's guarding the best player every night, and both of them combined get 3 shots? I mean, people talk about Brunson and they talk about Randall. Look, their high assist levels and so on. Yeah, high assist because they're passing to each other. And every once in a while, they're passing to Barrett. Robinson should be getting 2 lob shots per quarter every game because it's open all the time. And if you see when DiVincenzo or even sometimes Grimes, when he's trying to make a play, he does the lob shots to Mitchell. Okay? Now, as far as Quentin Grimes, okay, I think he what's the word I'm trying to use? He diverts too much to Randall and to Brunson. He just doesn't take the initiative to take the ball down, because I see him last year and sometimes this year. The man, if he drives, if they just let him play, he can create for others also. Plus, he can take it to the hole. But he diverts too much. He just gives the ball up. That to me, it's part of his problem. The second problem, I think, is more or less that Tibbs should actually see that and should be enforcing Brunson and Randolph to do these stuff for players. Because you know as well as I do. I mean, I coach. You probably played and stuff and everything. And if you're the man or you're sometimes you have to give everybody on your teammates open or pass to them so that way they could create on their own. Mm-hmm. We do it on the playgrounds. We do it all that stuff. In professional, it's pretty easy. Everyone on the floor is a triple threat. It's a very simple game. You do what you have to do, and so on. And other guys should see if this guy has an advantage, give him the ball.
See, this is where I disagree with you. I don't think Grimes really has the ability to create for himself or others. See, the times that we've seen Grimes go to the basket, it's been him attacking a closeout. Not really, okay, I got the ball, the defense is on me, now I can break down my man and go to the basket. It's been somebody scrambling to get out to him, and then he blows by him. But he doesn't really have, in my opinion, he doesn't really have change of direction, a change of direction type of game. He's a straightforward, straight arrow to the basket. If someone gets in front of him, he's going to stop and pick the ball up. You know what I mean? So I think that limits his offensive game. You know what I mean? So I think teams now have said, don't break down when you close out to him. Make him have to shoot the three. Don't just run straight at him because he can go by you. He does have speed, right? But that speed is only off the closeout. I haven't really seen Grimes do too much breaking his man down. And so I think that does limit him offensively.
Then for me, then it should be somewhere where the coaches say, listen, try to do the mid-range shot. So that way you have two options. You have the three or the mid-range. So that way now when they close out and you go by and you do the mid-range, now you have an option to either take the mid or see if you create or with somebody. Because if you go blow past your first man, somebody has to come to you. And usually that's Mitchell's man and stuff. And that's where I think he should be creating, which also should be Jalen Brunson's main purpose, because he breaks down all the time. And you see it as well as I do every game. There's that opportunity every time that Mitchell should be getting a block. I'm serious. I see at least 2 times per quarter if they just do it.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Okay.
I don't know if they're afraid.
Okay, and I do agree. I think, the Knicks can look to find Mitch more. I also agree with you that with a guy like Grimes, Tom Thibodeau should be helping him find his rhythm and putting in a few sets specifically for Grimes. All you need is, a one set a quarter that he's in that I'm calling Grimes his number. That's 4 times per game. Help make him feel part of the offense. So I do agree with you there. I think Grimes has some limitations, but that's why I think a coach, their job is when you have a player on the court with limitations, if you're going to have that person on the floor because they have other strengths, you find a way to help get them involved. So I agree with you 100%. You know what I mean? So I think it's a two. I think it's a two-way thing. Grimes could be a little bit more aggressive, and that's why I'm hoping by him saying something, it's showing some of that aggressiveness, right? And letting his teammates and coaches know, like, hey, I'm unhappy, help me out because I'm doing the dirty work. You know what I'm saying? But I also think it's on Tom Thibodeau and his teammates to help him out.
All right. Thank you so much for my call.
Does. No doubt. Appreciate you, Al. Peace.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, we'll see tonight how it goes with Grimes and if his teammates, if his coaches are going to help him out and they're going to stand, have his back. Now, I know there's some people that believe that, since Grimes said something, it's a wrap for him. I'm not sure, but, we'll see. I want to give a shout out to Kashif. Thank you for the Cash App. He said, I'm tired of the Knicks' disrespect. You know what? I feel you on that. Even when the Knicks are good, the Knicks can never please everybody or anybody, it seems like. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants, and this is, back in the day when people would say you can't build with the Knicks. This is what I think people were talking about because, all right, so the Knicks are on a build, right? They won 41 games a couple years ago, went down to 37. When they had all those injuries that year, 47 wins last year. They're on an upward trajectory, and people need it right now. Go get that star right now. That makes it tough. You know what I mean? Kashif again sent me another Cash App of $5. I appreciate it. He said, we need this win, simple and plain. We do. We need to get a signature win. You know what I mean? We need a signature win, and I'm hoping we can get it tonight. Let me get to another phone call here. Caller, you're live. Name me where you're from, please.
Hey, it's Benji, Manhattan, man. Love the show, man. Just a couple points. I think people just need to calm down with the narrative around the team. I mean, we had a really tough schedule, one of the toughest schedules in the NBA, the first 10 games of the season. If not the toughest. Right now we're 12-8. That's still on pace for nearly 50 wins. We got a brutal schedule coming up now, 3 home games this month alone. I think 10 road games. And by the way, I go to every single game, so okay. I'm all in for this team, man, as always. But just a couple of points, man, about the Grimes thing. Mm-hmm. I've never been a huge fan of the player, man. I know he plays hard on defense. He's super limited on offense, man. I think we've seen it. I mean, I'll give him maybe like 15% I can attribute to like our offense and the fact that he doesn't get a lot of touches. But I think just partially there's not enough variety to his game, right? Like he's not catching the ball, putting one dribble down and pulling up for a jumper. It's either like a driving kick three where he's wide open, or he can't really do much. So I think it's just partially that's on him.
Mm-hmm.
And we've seen him play differently in the summer league, right? I know it's summer league, but we've seen him in the summer league like take on that alpha role where he's looking for his offense. So I think there should have been a change made, whether it was starting Dante or expanding the rotation. I'm one of the few that always kind of supports Evan Fournier, and I just want to put it on the record that last year when Fournier got yanked from the rotation, it was probably like 10 games in, and we've now seen 20 games, 20 bad games of Grimes, basically, where he's probably had like 2 or 3 solid games this season out of 20.
Right.
And he still gets an opportunity, right? And Fournier doesn't get any opportunity. So I think this is where the Tibbs stuff is problematic, because I love Tibbs in a lot of ways, right? But his flaws are clear and always have been there. A coach that's smart is going to look at the situation and say, look, I have people on my bench that I can utilize. Evan Fournier is a sunk cost. We committed to the money. This is his last year.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you use him, whether it be you spot minutes or whatever. It's just, I don't understand why this coach has to be this way. It's just no other coaches act like this. So that's my main problem there. Like I said, I think overall things are good with the team. Some tweaks here and there need to be made. Yeah. Expanding the rotation. I mean, Evan deserves a chance, man. I mean, enough with the BS. He deserves a chance to play.
Okay, listen.
That's it.
You know, I believe Evan Fournier can help this team coming off the bench. You know what I mean? I think there's a spot there, and having a 6'7" guy that can shoot the ball. I do. I agree with you. You know what I mean? With Grimes, I don't know. I think right now you probably won't see the change right now, because if you get a change right now after Grimes came out and said what he said, now it's going to look like, oh, he came out and said something? Oh, all right, sit down. Right? So you probably don't see that right now. You know what I mean? It just wouldn't be a good look. And, in regard to what I just said, building blocks, get this up here. He said, Cam speaks and he's gone. Obi speaks and he's gone. Grimes, I mean, let's put it like this. Tom Thibodeau wasn't a fan of Cam Reddish, bottom line. Wasn't a fan of Cam Reddish. Obi and Tom Thibodeau, Tom saw a limited role for Obi with this team. And that's it. And Obi didn't like it. And Obi didn't just speak. Obi didn't say anything to the media. If you believe the audio that you heard, that was more than just speaking. So, I don't know if you can just say Obi speaks. He did more than speaking, right? He did more than speak, if you believe what you heard on that. You know what I mean? So I don't know. We will. I guess we'll see how it all plays out. The next few weeks will be telling, because I do think, look, the Knicks did start with a tough schedule, not just in who they played, but also, the schedule that they had with so many back-to-backs, weird time games and all kinds of stuff like that. The schedule wasn't easy for the Knicks to begin the season, and they're still 12-8. 5th seed in the Eastern Conference. All right, so it's not, I'm not trying to come down on the team, because I think they've played well enough. I want them to be better. I want them to get like one of these signature wins that I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Because that will prove to me and themselves and a lot of other people that, they can battle these teams. I mean, we know they played the Celtics tight. They played Milwaukee tight, but they didn't win the games. And the ultimate goal is to get a win. Caller, you're live. Name me where you're from, please.
What's going on, Sam? This Tay from Baltimore.
Tay, what's going on, brother? How you feeling, man?
I'm good, man. How about yourself?
Feeling good. Feeling good.
Son, remember at the event in Jersey? I've been saying it forever. This roster construction is not it, man. The coaches, of course, I'm not a Thibodeau fan.
Mm-hmm.
Thibodeau, I mean, the old school approach, walking the ball up. I mean, and just what this team, we have so many picks. They scared to make a move. I mean, if you look at the way that the East is, I don't really see us getting out the first round at this point, man. I mean, it's some good teams and young teams, athletic teams. I mean, you look at our pieces compared to, just look at the Magic. Like, I mean, it's like everyone's got, like I said, you either getting better or you getting worse. And I think we try to, that slow build. I totally agree with what Barkley and Kenny Smith was saying. And I've been saying it for a while too. You can't be in the middle. You either have to be good, or you have to. Not good. You gotta be great, or you have to be bad, because you can't get talent in the middle. Look, we're trying to trade up. It's hard to trade up from 13, 14, 15. You need to be somewhere in the top 4 in order to possibly move up. Or you got to be a real good team and have a superstar. And like they said, every game when they step up against these upper echelon teams who you're going to see in the playoffs, they don't have the best player on the floor. And you got to go through those guys. And I'm hopeful that that we can make the playoffs, but really anything more than that,
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, because people also talk about building the right way. And if you look at this basketball team, that's what they've tried to do, right? You have draft picks on the team. You got guys that you brought in with good contracts that turned into all-NBA caliber players, right? Or all-star caliber players, whatever you want to say. Guys that, Randall's contract is great right now. Jalen Brunson's contract is great right now. RJ is the Knicks' own draft pick. Mitchell Robinson is the Knicks' own draft pick. Emmanuel Quickley is the Knicks' own draft pick, right? And so we talk about building a basketball team. That's what the Knicks did. They built a basketball team. Right? So where do you, who are you? Philadelphia is doing good. But check it out. Philadelphia is doing good. You going to get Joel Embiid? No, they're not moving him. Minnesota is the best team in the NBA right now. Are they moving Karl Anthony Towns? No. Devin Booker's got KD. He's got Bradley Beal. Are you getting Devin Booker? No. So who are you getting to this basketball team that is really changing the trajectory to say that they're a contender right now? Who are you getting?
You're not getting anyone. That's my point. What I'm saying is, think about it, son. We talk about it like, at your event. It's more about you're not getting any of those stars. First of all, they didn't come here over the past couple of years. We've been through that all right.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like it's no one else coming in. And yeah, we got Quick and all that. Well, I think Quick is going to be out of here because they're not trying to pay him. But if you look at those guys, like Jalen Brunson is, to me, he's the best player. Everybody knows he's the best player on the team.
Mm-hmm.
But like Julius Randle, who I'm not a big fan of, the way he plays the game, slow it down. Like I think, like I said, I think Thibodeau and him is the big. I think if you had another coach, you had somebody that power forward. Even though I think Julius Randle is super talented, but I just think that for them to get to the next level, I think that they either need to go. Either you get a superstar who can lift, help Brunson, or you probably gonna have to go the youth route, and because you can't be in the middle of the pack because you're not going to be able to get that top end talent that you need. That's what we need. We need a star. It looks like we can't trade for the guy, so we're gonna have to draft him. But with those draft picks that they have, it's gonna be hard. You're gonna be hard pressed to get up there at draft time when you're dangling possible picks.
So then
that's the biggest problem.
Right. So then let's say you tank it out, right? And you get the third pick again.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's true.
It's tough. You know what I'm saying? Because
it's a crapshoot either way.
It's a crapshoot. You're right. Because just 4 years ago, the Knicks were one of the worst teams in the league. Had a chance to get the number 1 pick. They got the third pick. I don't know where you go.
Yeah,
I don't know where you go. It's I don't know where you go. It's tough.
I mean, I totally agree with that. I mean, it's but what it did get us with R.J. Barrett, even though R.J. Barrett isn't that great, but he's probably the third most talented player in my opinion on the team. I mean, I think Mitch is super talented, but I mean, it's just a roster construction. My biggest problem is spending money on DiVincenzo, spending that type of money on DiVincenzo. But I don't think he's not the problem. It's Hart. Josh Hart is not. I would have let him walk before I gave him $70-80 million. I don't think he's that type of ball player. I mean, taking money into role players is not the answer either, because you're still going to be in the middle.
Yeah.
So you don't agree with you either need to be bad or be good, or have a chance to win.
So, all right, let me ask you this. How long was Denver in the middle?
But they got a great player. I mean, yeah, they was in the middle for a while. I mean, but they also had the guard. They drafted high.
Right, but even with those guys, they was in the middle. Regardless of where they drafted, at a certain point, they were in the middle. Mm-hmm. And then finally they were able to get over the hump. I'm not saying this team will or won't, but I mean, there's some precedence there.
The East is getting better.
It is.
Indiana.
It is.
The Magic. Like these teams, that's where my issue is. Like they've been picking, having bad drafts forever, but they finally starting to put together, and those young teams they're just better than us. Right at this point, I mean, who knows?
Well, we'll see if they can sustain it. But
yeah, who knows come April? But you can also see you can see light at the end of their tunnel. That's all I'm saying. As far as these younger teams,
we'll see.
It might not. Sometimes in sports, you start everything starts to look good, but that's not your year. Your year might be the next year. So that's what I'm looking at as far as the Knicks. Down the road, you gonna have to pay Randall again. Are you gonna pay him $200 million?
I don't know. I guess I think they're probably gonna look, because you got that question with Brunson too. They both can opt out at the same time.
Right,
so you got that question with both of them. Yeah. I don't know. It's a situation. Hey, I appreciate your call, man.
All right, man. I'll see you at the Wizards game next month.
Yeah, no doubt. January 6th.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. All right. Peace.
All right.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, it's I don't know. It's a situation because you know what I mean. People can, obviously say, hey, you gotta add a superstar to get over the hump. You know what I mean? But the Knicks have also built in my opinion, built the correct way. Added young players, used draft picks. I mean, they're playing with, a large portion of their roster are their own draft picks. Quentin Grimes is their own draft pick. You know what I mean? Miles McBride, Jericho Sims, didn't mention those guys, even though Deuce and Jericho don't get a lot of playing time. They've done it the right way. All right, and they've been, from the time that Tom Thibodeau's been here, they've been on an upward trajectory. They've been getting better and better every year. You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, this is the first time over the first 20 games over the last since, however, that the Knicks have had a winning record. Am I right? I don't know. I'd have to go back and check and look, but I don't remember them having a win. Even last year, after 20 games, they didn't have a winning record. That's what made them make a move with Evan Fournier. And they've had a tough schedule, which hopefully means later on in the season the schedule is going to be a little bit easier. You never know how teams are going to be playing this, that, and the third. If the Knicks end up winning, they won 47 games last year, and they started off horribly. They end up winning 51, 52 games. Are you ready to say the team is done? That they can't get better? I don't know if I'd be ready to say that. Depending on what happens with Quickly and other guys, though, of course. Big Bubba, what's popping, bro?
Hey, what's going on, son?
I'm good. What's happening with you?
Much, man. I got a few things I got to get off my chest, man.
All right.
First and foremost, I don't know about you. I'm tired of Kenny Smith. Kenny Smith is still butthurt he didn't get the Knicks job. he is, Sam. Because you know what's crazy, Sam? Every time he talks about the Knicks, ever since he didn't get the job, it's been negative. Like, it's been negative. I'm tired of the dude. We get it. You didn't get the job. I know he wants to be a head coach. He didn't get the Knicks job. And he just downplays the Knicks every time. Because for him to say Pablo's better than Jalen Brunson, like, come on, man. Come on. Like, right now, Pablo's not better than Jalen. Sorry. He's a great player. They're a great team.
I don't know if they're great yet. You don't know if they're great yet. Don't just throw great around.
They're good. They're a good team.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, someone needs to tell Kenny Smith it's okay. You'll get a head coaching job one day. He just wasn't with the Knicks. He got to stop. He got to stop issuing on them. Also think, man, with things with Grimes, man, I'm more comfortable moving on from him. Then maybe go get DeRozan, see how that goes. Because, at the end of the day, man, right now, listen, what's funny? I thought about it today. It's each year a different player.
Well, I mean, I've told you that a couple of years ago.
No, you did. Each year it's a different player. This year's Quinn Grimes' turn.
Mm-hmm.
But he's in the funk right now. Every Knicks is going through this funk games. Hopefully he'll get better, man. Me personally, I think he's more expendable than the other guys. I think he's more expendable, but we'll see.
He is. That's without a doubt. He's more expendable.
Yeah. So, listen, if the Knicks do have a chance to go get DeMar DeRozan for a 1 year rental, I'm doing it personally because I think it'll be better for us in the long run. Well, for the short run, but for the playoffs, I think it'd be better. Even though, sure he's not a good playoff player, but you just can't. You can't go 3 against 5 then. It'll be at least 4 against 5. If you had DeMar.
Right.
Because right now, you're making the shots hard for RJ. People are talking about his efficiency and stuff now, but it's like, man, when you're playing 3 against 5, it's tough, man. It's tough to get good shots. I think what else? Also, too, man, people are complaining. This is the thing about being a Knicks fan, man. When we're really, really bad, we want to listen. So I remember, and you remember too. People were begging us to be mediocre. You know what I'm saying? People were begging us to be mediocre.
You're not lying.
People are like, why can't we be the team that at least makes it to the playoffs? What we've been doing. Listen, people got to understand, man. We're building the right way. Now, to me, there were a few mishaps. Like, people always know how I feel about it. We should have never picked Kevin Knox, and we should have never picked Obi Toppin. But things happen. Everybody misses a draft pick.
I mean, every rebuild has a few mishaps.
Yeah, look at Golden State. Look at Golden State. They could have had LaMelo Ball.
Every rebuild is going to have some mishaps. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I'm not really worried about that. Just listen. You essentially got 3 first-round picks this year. You got your own, you got Dallas, and you got that
Well,
It's looking like right now it's going to be looking like the first, second round pick.
I mean,
if it goes the way.
we assume we have Dallas. You know what I mean? You never know what kind of tricks they're going to pull out the bag, but,
Yeah, I know. That thing was horrible last year, so that was horrible.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So, I mean, so currently right now you basically got 3 first round picks. Now, me personally, I've been harping on it. The Knicks, to me, need to draft a wing. The Knicks really need a wing, like a good 6'8", 6'9" kind of guy. You need a backup power forward, and you need a stretch 5, man, because right now you got to get a stretch 5.
Yeah.
Those to me is what the Knicks are missing right now.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems to be really, really good because we got enough guards. You got to get a good wing. You need a backup power forward, and you need a stretch 5. I'm not saying you're going to get all that in the draft, but with the combination of the draft and free agency, I think you can fill those holes, man. And then I think you can do what these other teams are doing because I think the Knicks have a good team.
I think they have a good team.
Gotta,
as much as I see people, people say that they don't feel like the roster construction is good. It's been good enough to win over these past couple of years. We'll see how far they can go. You know what I mean? And I believe in this front office. I do believe that they're looking at the roster and saying, how can we make it better? I don't think they're just sitting around.
No, they're not, man. I think people got to be patient, man. Like I said before, people were begging to be mediocre at 2015. 2015,
those
16,
years
they
we
were
was getting
mediocre.
like 17 wins,
Yeah, they were begging to be mediocre. Now, we're doing good. We got to be patient, man. Like, I got faith in the team. I got faith in Leon Rose. Like I said, there's a few things we need. Like I said, I think we need to go bigger because we're just a short team right now. And it's hard. Again, I don't care how good Josh Hart is, how much heart he got. It's hard to – you're asking him to guard Jason Tatum. It's hard. He's 6'4".
Yeah.
So, I mean, look, I think we need to get a couple wings. Like I said, get a couple wings in there. I think that would help RJ out. I think that would help a lot of guys out. And we could just, we can move from there, man. But I would like to win tonight, man. We need a statement win.
We need
a statement win bad.
Yeah, no doubt. We need one. Big Bubba, I appreciate it, man. I got to get through the rest of the stuff because I got a game tonight at 9 o'clock. So I got to,
Oh, yeah.
I got to get to the
Good luck
gym by
tonight, man.
6:30. You know what I mean? No doubt about it. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
All right, peace. Shout out to Tay. Thank you for the Cash App. Tay was just online. He said, we won't get out the first round. That's what he's saying about the Knicks. He said, we won't get out the first round. Kerry Cox, he said, then the Knicks would be the top of the middle of the pack. I mean, with 20 games into the season, I guess we'll find out where the Knicks really end up, when we get to the end of the season. I mean, just a week and a half ago, Milwaukee was below us. So, you know what I mean? Let's see where the Knicks end up. Maybe they do end up at the top of the middle of the pack. And you can look and say, okay, well, if we add this, then we can do this, that, and the third. Anyway, the Knicks take on Boston tonight. Like Big Bubba said, we do need, ladies and gentlemen, that signature win. But the Knicks haven't fared well against Boston this season. What I'm looking at right now are season numbers for both teams. Celtics average 116 a game. The Knicks won 11.5. A lot of that is due to that 122 points they scored against Milwaukee, but they got blown out, gave up 146 points. Right, the Knicks are averaging 46 rebounds, 23 assists. The Celtics, 47 rebounds, 25 assists. 8 steals for the Knicks, 6 for the Celtics. Both teams are low turnovers, 12 for the Knicks, 13 for the Celtics. But here, every team, it comes down to shooting. The Knicks shoot 44.8% from the field. They're shooting well from 3, 37.5. The Celtics, 36.2. But the Celtics are shooting 47% from the field. The Knicks, 44.8. It was the same thing with the Bucks. The Bucks shoot 49 or whatever percent from the field. The Knicks shoot 45. Every top-tier team, the Knicks just don't shoot as well as these teams. And when you look at the way the Knicks have matched up against the Celtics this year, over 2 games, the Knicks just get outshot every time they step on the floor versus the Celtics. Versus the Celtics, ladies and gentlemen, the Knicks are shooting 39.2%. This is over 2 games. 39.2% versus the Celtics. But they're shooting 43.4% from the three-point line. 38 three-point attempts per game, shooting 43.4%. Only 62% from the free throw line. You got to do better. 20.5 assists per game. Right, but that 39% from the field, ladies and gentlemen, you know, it hurts. It hurts because the Celtics are going to shoot the ball well. They got shot makers. And the Celtics versus the Knicks, they shoot in 2 games versus the Knicks, the Celtics are shooting 49.4%. And they're shooting 37.8% from the three-point line. So they're shooting well in both categories, and they're shooting 88% from the free throw line. So in all of your shooting categories, the Celtics are shooting very well while the Knicks are not. There's the difference between these two basketball teams. And the Celtics are only taking 78 shots per game. 78. While the Knicks versus the Celtics, and I'll bring this up for you right now because I lost it, but I think they're shooting like 80-something shots per game. So they're taking more shots than the Celtics, but they're making a much, the Knicks are taking 88 field goal attempts per game versus the Celtics. 88 field goal attempts, but only shooting 39%. It always comes down to the Knicks making shots against these teams. They don't make shots. You can't win if you don't make shots. Got to make shots. You know what I mean? So, the Knicks, when we talk about keys to the game, ladies and gentlemen, the Knicks, that's the number one key right there. Make shots. Play defense, of course. Got to play defense, but the Knicks got to make shots. How can we shoot at a higher percentage? It's the only way you're going to compete with this basketball team. We got to figure out another thing, ladies and gentlemen. Stop doubling off of Kristaps Porzingis. It's not working. Right? When they set that pick and pop with KP, do not double off of KP. Because he burns us every time. Every time. Stop doubling off of KP. Then we got to, play defense, figure out how we defend KP, how we defend Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, right? How can we keep their shooting below 49%? Right? Can we keep their shooting below 49%? I don't know. We can. Dominate the glass. But my main thing, man, is shooting the ball well. We got to shoot the ball well. We shoot the ball well, we're right there with this basketball team. We don't shoot the ball well, we probably get blown out. I don't know, man. I'm not sure. I'm not sure the Knicks get the win tonight. I'm going to be honest with you. That's just my feeling. I don't know if we're going to shoot the ball well. I'm going to play a little reverse psychology tonight. I'm going to say the Knicks get the I'm going to say they get the L. Say they go home with a loss. Hopefully I'm wrong. Praying that I'm wrong because the Knicks need a statement win. You know what I mean? They need a statement win. They need a big one. They haven't had a big one. They need a big one. They need a big one. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get up out of here. I appreciate your time. I will not be able to do a post-game show tonight because I have a basketball game at 9 p.m. I probably won't get home until 12. If I get home around 12, I might jump on late at, 12:30. I might. But chances are I won't be able to. And if I'm not, then, I'll do something tomorrow morning. So I would definitely appreciate your patience. All right, before I get out of here, I do want to remind you, man, it's not too late, ladies and gentlemen, to get those Captain Clutch t-shirts or hoodies exclusively at printjurisdiction.com. Exclusively, and I just put the link in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. It's Captain Clutch, Jalen Brunson Captain Clutch t-shirts. Premium t-shirts too. So go check those out, ladies and gentlemen. Go to printjurisdiction.com and you can see the t-shirts, you can see the hoodies. All right, folks, I'm up out of here. Possibly I'll see you later on tonight. If not, then I will definitely see you tomorrow morning. All right, I'm out. Peace.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.